Hello dear friends, welcome to Shiksha Mantra. For so many times we have learned about different aspects of English grammar and its different components. But the basic factor of a sentence, as you know, it is subject, verb and object. So this is the structure with which we form a sentence. But have you ever considered what relation does the subject and object shares with the verb? So what is actually the base of a construction? For so many occasions, in so many different books, you have learned that the subject is the guardian of the sentence. What is the subject? This is the main component of a sentence. This is the principle of the institution. If we consider the sentence as an institution, the subject is its principle. So we have learned all about this. But what relationship, what chemical bonding is there in subject, verb and object? So today we are going to learn the chemical bondings of subject and object with the verb. So there you must stay glued to this video till the end to learn the chemistry of a sentence. So let's begin. So here we are going to learn subject and object. But when we are after the subject and the object, we must remember that to make it a sentence, what is a subject? A subject is either a noun or a pronoun. And just like the same, an object is also either a noun or a pronoun. So neither the subject nor the object is sufficient to form a sentence. So what we need to form a sentence? We need a glue to stick the subject and object together. And the verb does the work of that glue. So this is the glue with which the subject and the object are stuck together. So these are the two loose ends of a sentence which are actually concretized. They are bonded together by the verb. Yes, dear friends, you must remember that a verb usually has two different hands. Yes, just like as we do, we have two different hands to perform different things. And at a time, you can use the two hands to hold two things together. And you have also the option. You may use your right hand only to hold one thing and leave your left hand free. Or to hold something with your left hand and leave your right hand free. Yes, dear friends, these are actually two different constructions I'm talking about, and I've discussed it in the later part of the video. But till now, what we have learned that a verb has two hands, hand number 1 and hand number 2. So with the first hand, you may consider it as the right hand or the strong hand. The verb holds the subject. And with the second hand, you may consider it as the weaker hand. The verb holds the object. So with the right hand, the verb catches the subject. With the left hand, the verb catches the object. Now, these two components of a sentence, subject and object, they does the purpose of a sentence. Actually, the king of the sentence is not the subject, but the king of the sentence is the verb. So how do we consider the verb as the king of the sentence? Just you have to find out what the purpose the subject serves. The subject does the action of the verb. So why do we use a subject? Why do we use an object? That is a secondary question. But the primary question is, why do we form a sentence? We form a sentence to find out what expression is there for us. what do we want to share with the listeners or the readers? That means we are talking about some action, and the verb speaks of that action. So when the verb speaks of the action, who does this action? The subject does this action. And who receives this action? The object receives this action. So the verb is the action that we have to talk about in a sentence. The subject is there to do the action, and the object is there to receive the action. That's why there is the chemical bonding with two different hands of the verb. It catch holds of the what? Subject in the right hand and the object in the left hand, and that's the chemistry. That's the chemistry of a sentence. So when you use a subject or an object, that is either a noun or a pronoun in a sentence, you must remember that chemical bonding. You must remember that you have to put something before the subject. Very simply, we may consider that before the subject, but it doesn't mean the subject would always be at the beginning of a sentence. It may be placed in some other parts of the sentence as per our need. So we would learn this in advanced level, but in the preliminary level, we would learn that we have to put someone or something that would do the action of the verb, and it would be considered as the subject of the sentence. And if needed, there we have to put someone or something after the verb who would receive the action, and we will consider it as the object of the sentence. So it's better to have an example here so that we'd get it easily. So he had done something which obviously is not expected. We don't want to kill a snake because it's very harmful for the environment. We mustn't kill a snake. But this person whom we are talking about, he kills the snake. Now the action or the verb is this one, kill. So this is the verb or the action of the sentence. And who is doing this action? Who is the doer for this action? Obviously he. So this is the subject of the verb, and the right hand or the first hand with which it's better to call it R, or the right hand. So the right hand of the verb is the subject. We have got it. Now what he had done? Kills. Kills whom? Kills what? Kills the snake. So this is the object because it receives the action. It receives the action of the verb. This is the left hand. So that's the chemistry of a sentence. The verb or the action, someone is doing it and someone is receiving it. So when we find out who is doing this, he is the subject. When we found out who is receiving this, is the object. And that's the chemistry of a sentence. Now we discuss how strong these hands could be. Sometimes you'd find that we are using a construction where the verb gets a subject, but there won't be an object. How? If we consider this sentence, I eat. I eat. So here the verb is important, and who is doing this action? The subject. So there's only right hand and there's no left hand for this sentence. That means this sentence has an object. Just like I have catch something with my right hand and leave my left hand free. So I have catch the subject with my right hand and I have leave the left hand free. So there's no object in the sentence. The verb has catches hold the subject with his right hand, but his left hand is kept free. So there's no object for this. This is one construction. And for these verbs which doesn't have an object, we call them what? We call them intransitive verb. And for those verbs which has the object, we consider them as transitive verb. So if you learn this chemistry, you'd find learning English grammar is very much easy. Only you have to learn this chemistry properly. And now the second option. We have put the verb, and this time the verb has kept its right hand free and held something with the left hand. So the verb has an object but doesn't have a subject. How? If we consider this sentence, take the book. If we consider this sentence, here dear friends, this is imperative sentence. It happens in imperative sentences. So here you'd get the verb, but there's no subject for the verb. We don't know who is receiving this action. Yes, it's known, because as we know, for imperative sentence, the subject is always understood and the subject is always you. So it's known to us. But for this moment, we may consider that we don't have a subject for this sentence. So the verb keeps his right hand free and there's the object in its left hand. So the action is received by the book. Take what? Take the book. So the action take is received by the object book. And this is the chemistry with which we form imperative sentences. So when you learn the chemistry of the verb and the subject and the object, it would be easier for you to get to the chemistry of a sentence and to get to the grammar of a sentence, the grammar that lies behind a sentence. So you must remember verb, it has two hands. With the right hand, it catches the doer of the action and we consider it as the subject, and with the left hand it catches the receiver of the action and we consider it as the object, and finally we get SVO construction, which is the basic construction of a sentence with which an English sentence is produced. So that's everything from this session. Probably you have found out the chemistry of a sentence, and we are returning soon, very soon, with another such informative video regarding English grammar and learning. Till then, bye bye, happy learning.